I read a book. Can I have a medal, please?
While a lot of my recent reviews, I say a lot, but it's been more than a few, have been pretty disappointing reads, it was quite refreshing to read a book that is quite possibly one of the best books I've read this year, which is kind of why I still haven't made my Reads of the Year list yet, because I intend to read right up until the end of December, so I might do it sort of on New Year. But anyway, many of you will have read this. For me, King Sorrow was an anomaly. And I say it was an anomaly for quite a few reasons. One of those reasons is that the only real experience I've had with Joe Hill's writing has been the short stories that you find on Amazon. And half of them are very good, half of them are absolutely awful, and I just didn't really vibe with it. Secondly, Joe Hill was the author who a year or so ago decided to go all over social media and tell people, if you're not voting our books 4 and 5 stars, then don't bother, because 3 stars mean the book sucks and you're just damaging our sales. And that pissed me off. However, when I saw the synopsis for this book, I could not really ignore it. It was exactly the sort of thing that I had been looking for, the sort of thing that I'm sort of leaning towards reading more these days. And of course, all this came on the back of me discovering, as the last human being on the planet to know, that Joe Hill is in fact the child of Stephen King. Literally, not figuratively. Didn't know that. Must be the last person on the world to know that. But there you are. So this is the longest book I've ever read. It is 896 pages. And the structure of the book is weird. That's the only thing I will say. I knew beforehand it would be taking period across multiple decades, and that it's separated into different volumes, book 1, book 2, book 3, etc. But there are also random interludes with their own chapter numbers. Each time a new book starts, the chapter numbers reset, and occasionally there's just random pieces that have a number. Or in one particular case involving an airline flight, there's no chapter numbers at all. It's just the time of the flight. However, review-wise, the character work is exceptional. I was going to say world building. It's not really world building. You're following these characters through their lives and the impact that their decision when they were teenagers has made on their life. And you feel the drama, you feel the sadness, you feel the anger, you feel all of these things really well. The narrative is very easy to follow. It's not convoluted. It's just really well written. And the few twists that you see in the book, one in particular made me go, wow, okay, so that's where it's going. And I could imagine it as a TV series, that being like the cliffhanger of an episode. But what I will say is I'm glad. I mean, it's a massive tome of a book, 900 pages, as I said. But I'm glad it was one volume, because too many, I don't want to do it because I do this myself, but too many books these days are split into trilogies and quadrilogies, and sometimes you don't get around to finishing the series. So I'm glad that this is one hefty book, because it was a very good book. It's definitely making my list of favourite books of the year. Where it places, I don't know yet. But if you haven't read King Sorrow, I cannot encourage you enough to read it. It is very well written. And I'm now thinking about going back and reading Joe Hill's other novels. I'm not interested in the short stories. I didn't vibe with those. But I want to read things like Nosferatu and The Fireman, I think was his last one. So yeah, 5 stars. I know. Right on Christmas nearly as well.